guess that'll do. Guess that makes us ready to begin. Right. And so we do. Bonjour. Bonjour, everybody. Hello and welcome. Wonder if I can actually zoom that in, perhaps, to make the chat bigger. Yes, that's better. Right. Greetings from Florida. Oh, crikey. Greetings to you. You come from all over the place, don't you? Don't you just? Honestly. Bonjour, bonjour. Let's see what Gamatoto's got for us. Oh, Switzerland. Crikey. Technically closer to me, but loads of different places. Norway. All these are brilliant, you know. I mean, like, crikey. Alright, I've done all the expeditions I need, so I'm going to send them off on a 6-hour. Was machst du? Heute mache ich selbe Woche. Yeah, selbe Woche. Yeah. Woo! Today, I'm doing Silver Week. There is actually a birthday present to do. Though, will that take up some of my energy? Oh no, it will. But I haven't been keeping up with it, and I should. So, let's do it now. Poland, Czech Republic, crikey. Sounds so tired. I mean, I'm just speaking in a measured way. I'm not that tired. Just, you know, not going mad with my voice. Just sort of pacing it, you know. Tell you, what's it with these enemies being metal, I ask, and what's it with the no monies as well? But we got it, so that's fine. Hurrah. Right. Yes, of course. Selbe Woche gerade. Right. I've forgotten the meaning of where they just say gerade, because geradeaus straight on. No, but I've already forgotten what it was. It had some other meaning. Anyway. I want to ask you something. Well, go ahead and ask it. My English class turned into politics. Far superior, in my opinion. I would be glad for that. Political debate of Shakespearean proportions as opposed to Shakespeare. Right. Might as well get started with this. If you heard a loud sound, it was just me moving my my drinks mat. I thought it would probably make sense to move it further away from the microphone so you can't hear me always picking up my mug, which is not actually filled with tea. Kind words from you, thank you. But I don't know if that was intended to be your question, because I don't detect a question within that. That's an interesting point of view. Amazed at my number of leaderships. Other people were like, get more! And I'm like, well, haven't I got, you know, a few? That's alright. People are like, no, get more! And then now, whoa! How'd you have that many? cognitive dissonance, I guess. Contradictions between your thoughts. I don't know if I've shown you this. I've changed my strat up slightly. I've finally gone for a more specific one. It's very little different to what the strat originally was, but this time we have bouncing 4 in for our monies at the start. And what that enables is to have, as well as monies at the start, noodle as well, which sort of helps along when the procs are not forthcoming. So that's just a little QOL quality of life improvement. Wham bam. And away we go. Weird higher booster just proccing only a few of them. Usually it can take out the whole lot in one. Bit weird why it isn't doing that. I sometimes wonder whether it's Noodle causing that, but I doubt it. I don't see how it would be. Can you see the chat? I can see the chat, but I don't see anything in it to talk about, which is a shame to me, because that just kind of means silence, really. But I wait until there's something to talk about, which there seems to be now. Have you ever thought about watching other anime? Yeah, probably. Probably around the time that there's next, or at least goes back to, a anime collab with the game. I'll probably watch that anime. Glad to see people are saving up their leaderships. It's good to save up so that you have it for any eventuality where you might need your energy recovered. I mean, I'm not so fond of the flexing part of it, but I'd rather people were flexing their large amount of stocked up savings than I've got nout, mate. First time watching one of these streams? Well, I hope you will enjoy it. I hope it can live up to some form of good standard, he says through a sigh. Let's stop your spamming, thank you. First time early on a stream because I had school and homework. What, before? Wow. Glad you're able to achieve what I guess you wanted to do now. If not, sorry that you're here. but please, I just give me some homework. Ragged he won't, you know, if I say I have homework, I'll be able to avoid a Reddit stream. Do you know how important this is? They're so bad. Please just give me homework so I have something I can say I need to do at the same time. Please. Please, I'll do anything for some homework. Anything to avoid those awful streams. Right. Okay. I was about to announce the level name and say, this is what we're doing now. I've done it 432 total times. I don't think I need to announce what we're doing. That isn't all this time round. It was 200 and something. I think high 200s when we came into this session of doing it. That voice is amazing. Appreciate that. Bitto voice acting. Bitto voice acting. Come on, Hayabusa. Come on. There we go. I love your streams, I just don't say anything. Well, you know what? Saying nothing is better than being negative. So, you're at a good neutral point there, and you've been nice to me as well. I'd say that puts you to the good. The good end of chat. Has there been a run where you actually lost to horrible procs? There have been runs where I've been scared that I'm about to lose to horrible procs. There's been about 2 of those gold Arosts stacked up against my base where Crazed Monaco is now. But I've never lost. The first attempt I did it was with my main scouting slot, and that only has Paladin in as a critter, and I still managed to do it with that. So no, I've never lost, but it's looked a bit hairy and scary before. I think we have enough extra critters, and it's deliberately placed like that, so that will never be an issue. We got Hurrycat, Catasaurus, Noodle, all 3 of the Monacos, even though Crazed Monaco is really the only reliable critter of all of them. I think we have too many critters for it ever to be possible to have bad enough proc. Oh, I don't know if anyone can enlighten me. Now, the other 2 levels in Silver Week are self-explanatory, really, in terms of how they relate to silver. So there is Silver Anniversary, just literally silver, and No Shame in second. What has a distant road got to do with anything being silver? I don't quite get that. Answers on a postcard while I engage in some VPN magic to get our ads for cat food. Energy, even. And I go. It takes a long time to get gold from silver. Maybe since there's a sloth. So it's not immediately clear to anyone else. Well, I'm glad there wasn't something obvious I was missing. Maybe it will just be a mystery. Maybe it will be a distant time when we work out what it's got to do with anything silver. Right. Ad watched. Hey Regit, what's your favourite video game of all time? Oh crikey. I remember there was a Twitter thread thing like this about this once. And I did my favourite games. What were they? I think it's got to be Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2. Back in the day, a long time ago, that was an absolute icon of a game, and I love playing it. And I tell you what, my PlayStation 2 never broke, unlike my PlayStation 3. So, yeah, I think it's got to be that one. I guess close behind them would be the amount of fun I had on my Donkey Kong Jungle Climber. That was always good fun. And then probably Mario Kart Wii. Ooh. Oh, good. I appreciate some people here know about the anti-oop thing. When the GCSE memes were about, I was trying to tell people about how funny that was, and they had no idea what I was going on about. I'm glad some people know about anti-oop. I mean, I only discovered it when looking at GCSE memes. I mean, you know, he's done his A-levels, but he still loves the GCSE memes. There's, you know, they are a certain breed of collaborative humour. where everyone can coalesce around, well, that exam was a little bit, and make fantastic memes about it. Back in our day, and I mean still, you get the Ed Miliband, tough enough, Ed Miliband resigns meme, which is political as well, which just makes it even better. It's all good. To additionally help against bad proc events, I've got Iron Wall cannon up, so that it gives us some time to prepare for what comes next. More farming, yeah, heckin' right, DJ, heckin' right. Did you watch the new Chalola video Q&A? I don't watch Chalola, so that I'm afraid that would be a no. I actually the only Battle Cats YouTuber I regularly watch, we're going to go through it with the leadership, is Chawsey. I will watch a Lucas video now and then, because they can be very informative. But other than that, no one. I watched one of Battle Cat Bro's videos upon his request. He started making like MLG type ones, which, you might think that sounds dreadful, but it was quite good fun, actually. Do you watch Matt Shea? I find it a little bit more difficult to keep up with the Battle Cats stuff now that it's sort of irregular, if around at all. But I watched it when it was every Sunday, certainly. But, you would have known because there are actually a couple of videos where he mentioned me, which is very kind. This is what I mean about a horrible proc run, but there you go, you ultimately get one out of it. But yeah, no, I do find it kind of difficult. To watch them now, and I mean Matt's content generally, I don't think it's bad. It's just not my kind of thing. Watching generic Let's Plays very often. I will go through my subscriptions because we got a question: what other YouTubers do you watch in all categories? I'm happy to do that, and I'll explain why I'm subscribed to each one, and we'll see if I cross over with any of you. I'd appreciate you not talking to me in the form of a clickbait article. If you want to let me know what's happened, let me know. But, just be careful about your personal information. And if you want to let us know, let us know. But if not, I'm not going to bite on this amazing thing happened like you're a clickbait article. Just tell us if you want to tell us. But just be careful about what you tell us. Right, okay. Let's go to my subscriptions then. I haven't got that many. I should be able to remember. Oh, crikey. Right, okay. So, my subscriptions go as follows. Chawsey, main man. We like Chawsey. What type of music are we getting this time? Crinkles, ambient music. You'll know, DJ, won't you, from Izuma streams. He sometimes has crinkles on. And we'll get to that. So, Chawsey. I'm subscribed to Chawsey because he is funny. Seems like a very good person. I've spoken to him at length a few times. And is very handsome. Unfortunately, his beard's going because it's been annoying him. Now, I shave whenever there's even the slightest of facial hair, so I can understand that. But rip Chawsey's beard, equally. Big rip on that front. Let's see what... I've got a 1 next to Chawsey. Let's see what he's made. Ancestors. What a madman. Where's the Battle Cat? Where's Battle Cats? Actually, I shouldn't be feeding into that. I would like to see Chawsey do the... Chawsey do the check-in survey. I really liked this last one he did on that. I think that dislike Chawsey put on there was one he reversed immediately. I remember him saying in a video about that. He was saying to me people were like rushing to my defence and having a go at Chawsey. I was saying to him that they seem to be misplacing their defence. Perhaps it would be better placed when people are actually enacting a vendetta against me. Right, okay, so the next subscription on my list, we're going to go alphabetically, which I've already failed to do, is a Cosmo. A Cosmo makes music, and they are very underwatched. And so I watch them to try and get the viewership up at least a little bit, because their music is as good as any other musical artists, and a lot of work is put into music creation. So I value that and watch them. Next, now here's a channel, I don't know, you might have heard of. I would think it's come up at least once in a lot of people's subscriptions. Maybe less of the goop. Maybe if we can talk about this, who knows, you know? Maybe on-topic conversation. Next is Atomic Shrimp, whose video you may know, Just Say OK to Scammers. That one came up, a lot of people's recommended, mine included. I liked it. His videos are non-clickbait, very informative, and quite funny as well. So we like Atomic Shrimp. Atomic Shrimp, good. Next are my nobody on there interested. Atomic Shrimp, no. Just goop. We just right. Okay. Right, anyway, the next channels are my Formula 1 subscriptions, because you know me, I talk about it occasionally, and how Sky are awful, because they are, or Sky Sports anyway. So Chain Bear F1 for that one, he makes sort of little documentary videos and explanation ones, these animations, not like an animator, but like After Effects stuff. It's quite good. And also Formula 1 themselves, because that's about actually one of the few places I can visually see races, because again Sky are awful and they've created what should be an illegal monopoly. Next, Gooseworks. Now I think Gooseworks was actually recommended to me by Junfish, possibly anyway. They're a music artist and artist, which, you know, both are very time consuming and not rewarded very well by YouTube algorithms. And they're good, and I enjoy what they do. That's good. Then Insane in the Rain Music, who you might have heard of, has a saxophone. Yes, it's a saxophone, isn't it? And does all sorts of arrangements for versions of different musics around. Very good, very professionally made videos. And then one DJ will know, because DJ and I both share an interest in this one. Sim Gretiner, who is the purveyor of the rather lovely electro swing, basically cinematic universe, Peggy Suave. Each electro swing song is accompanied by art and a form of story contributing to the universe, which is just lovely. And then Grumpy Shark and Frensu and Happy Robot, all sorts of like these little musical series that are very good. Then a channel that's actually quite difficult to pronounce, Untas Fast Flood. This is another Formula 1 channel, and they're really quite good. What they do, these little videos using the Formula 1 game to recreate what's happened in races, with quite a funny slant on them, and with Formula 1 memes that you possibly wouldn't find funny because it's very inside jokey, but very well made little memes. Then Kumu, who I found out through Lucas IV, purveyor of music, recently 100,000 subscribers. Kumu did. I think a lot of YouTubers use Kumu now and then. You might have heard of Kumu. Then Izuma Says. Now, I was subscribed to Azuma for a long time, and I can't really keep up with watching the Hermitcraft at the moment. And then I looked on his channel to go and unsubscribe because I thought I'm doing his sub count a disservice being a sort of subscriber that isn't there, an empty subscriber it could be known as, not my term, where you subscribe but you're not actually contributing to their views. But I found he has this channel called Azuma Says and is brilliant. Azuma is in Azuma Void, yeah. And it's brilliant. What that channel does is it has stream excerpts where he talks about topics in a way that I like to do here, with like politics and stuff like that. And I love Azuma Says, right up my alley. Perfect kind of channel for me, because I think Azuma sounds very educated and is sort of very podcasty. Nice sort of sit down with a cup of tea to Azuma Says. Then, finally, Wolfgang Law, who is an electro swing artist and probably overall for songs I love my favourite one, and is really quite catastrophically underviewed compared to people like Caravan Palace and Parov Stella and them lot. So those are my subscriptions. They are all united except for possibly Chawsey, who I get, and actually Formula One, who I give free passes for being a very lovely handsome man and having content restricted by Sky's disgusting monopoly, respectively. But otherwise, they're all unclickbait and title videos very respectably and nicely, and make good videos as well. So those are my subscriptions. Bit more detail than perhaps you might have thought, but that is going through them, and maybe that will form some form of recommendation to people, I don't know. Anyway, that's who I'm subscribed to. Mostly music channels, actually. Yeah. And Chawsey's the only gaming channel I'm subscribed to, because Chawsey's a lovely man. Lovely man. I almost said boy, so I was like, ban. Lovely ban. Ban him. I ban him. No, I ban him. Have you met anyone in real life? No, I don't know these people. They're just people I subscribe to. I just pick my subscriptions carefully, like I do my Twitter follows. You may find on Twitter I'm actually following very few people, because what I like to do is every time I go on Twitter, go through completely up to date with everything that everyone I follow has tweeted, because I'm actually interested in what they have to say. They don't spam you with stuff, and so I'm very careful about who I follow. And same sense of subscriptions. When will you decide to true form your legends? So when I get suitably stuck in Uncanny Legends to the point of like an Ultramax slapstick not being enough. Well, exactly. You have these people who like spam follow, and they're in no mind to actually read these people's tweets. And I am, and I think that's a better way of doing it, instead of disingenuously empty following so many people whose tweets you're not actually going to read. So I would heartily recommend to anyone to streamline your follows. I thought about saying, and I will say, if that includes streamlining me off of your follows, fair enough, but only really follow people whose tweets you're actually going to read. Otherwise, you're a number that doesn't actually mean what it should. Pity subs. Haven't heard the term before, but I can assume I know what it means. And it's that same sort of thing that I don't like the idea of. That you are contributing to a number, but then makes it disappointing when that number isn't reached. Like the video views I get compared to the subscribers I have. I mean, that's true of any channel anywhere, but I realised and would suggest that you should only probably be subscribed to someone if you intend to watch almost everything that they put out. If not, just watch them and then have them sort of recommended on your homepage and go and watch that odd occasional video that you're interested in. That's what I do with like Crinkles now, because obviously there's a long wait between each thing coming out, so there's no point having the subscription up there, but I'll go to it when it comes round to it. Other channels, specific videos that are very once in a while, would not subscribe to them and then go to see that video when it comes up recommended. Does Battle Cats get really boring to you? No. I think that this is another sense in which I'd advocate what I do with taking things very slowly in the Battle Cats, is that there's always something new to be doing. Silver Week is very repetitive here, but I love doing it because I love getting lucky tickets. But otherwise, I pace myself with the game a lot, and I think that keeps it more interesting for me than it does seem to for other people. Any tips for Into the Future Chapter 3 Moon? I'm afraid not. Not reliable ones, anyway. On Into the Future Chapter 2 on the beginner guide, I'm afraid. Oh! Hackers! Hang on a minute. Is today... Oh, flippin' floppin', honestly. Is today Titan? Right, is it? Yeah. We need to do that. I need to record that. Oh, flip. Right, I need to do that beginner guide recording. Whoops. Good job we caught it now, because I do not want to be waiting another month. Yeah, I need to get on that. You going to make nicknames for cats? I don't think so. Other than when it makes it easier to say, like Mushy for Musashi, Blue for Marin Mazurin, or whatever it is in its third form at the moment. Otherwise, no, not really. Not particularly inclined to do it myself. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea for anyone else. Oh yeah, Procky Boy. No, you point that out very correctly. Yeah, okay. Some of them then. Subconsciously, but not systematically then. I don't think I will attempt to deliberately name and nickname every unit I have. I will do some of the beginner account stuff during the stream, certainly, but I don't know. How am I going to do it? That's an interesting one that we'll need doing. Now I think about it. Well, we can go on the beginner account. There can be bits to record on here. Oh, that's a shame. No lucky ticket. There can be bits to record on here, certainly. Like suggesting people use look for any wave blockers or things like that. Obviously, we're not going to have any on the beginner account, but what I'll do is I'll search through them here and record a little segment that has them from there, and then I can point to a point of reference. Any other stuff that's useful for Crazed Titan? I guess anything that survives a lethal strike, really. Any units other than like Jiangxi that survive a lethal strike? We've got Castaway. Are there any non-true forms that do that? Yeah, good damage. I'm thinking of things you can filter for, though. That's in with all due respect, a kind of very vague piece of advice. I mean, I wouldn't be able to interpret it. He also called Nobalan Pasalan a floaty ugly boy. Well, that's a description. I think it would be overly cruel of me to make that a nickname. People aren't going to have talents because talents are after Into the Future 3, I think. So it seems like there will be things to look for in that category. Is basically the question answer that I was aiming for there. Hurrah. So what we'll do is we'll do this one more time. And then set about looking in those filters. Ooh. Right. Getting towards the end of this one then. What do you think of Plants vs Zombies? Just curious. What always seemed quite interesting to me, but I suspect wouldn't be a fun game for me to play because it's probably quite similarly to Overwatch, which I struggle at and die at and don't find particularly fun for that reason, was Garden Warfare. You know, the sort of actual sort of shootery one. That I really like that artistically, and I enjoyed watching like Squid and Stampy play that. Like Martin in the Little Wood. Oh, back in the day. But playing, I don't think any of them. Right. So the first thing. Well, you do them all at the same time, wouldn't you? You can do that, can't you? I hope so. So it's... Yeah, unharmed by waves. Wave... Looking for it. Wave shield. And then... Survives a lethal strike. And that puts all of them together, right? The immortal Alan O'Neill. What a classic man. Honestly. Titled like a clickbait. What a bloke. Alan O. Hecking Neil. Right. It's unlikely they'd have anything like this, but... Surely not. No, surely not. Weird. Very, very weird. We'll change it to Zamboni so it's more obvious. Well, haven't you upgraded everything to level 30? Just haven't got round to it, to be honest. Oh, right. That would need the true form, so unlikely. Right, they're not going to have them. Right, okay, what we'll do then is I will get quick time up. And just record that little segment of the filter. Survive. Well, actually, no, it'd be easier to put them on, wouldn't it? Survive. Unharmed by waves. Wave shield. Okay. Then we'll start on Jiangxi. Move to Commander. Glass is obviously a no. These are pretty much all no's as well. These two on the very off chance. Oh, we'll keep that on Castaway then. Might survive lethal strike. So like that. And then that obviously only becomes that in the third form, so very unlikely. Nobland doesn't count, does it? Right. They're very unlikely for people to have, but they're the sorts of things, aren't they, that could be useful to people. When should I use speed ups? Ah, well, speed ups. Oh, for example, well, I can use quite a pertinent example here. Is in something like the Crazed Titan, where you will need, well, where first it's a continue stage, so you can force close it, and secondly, one where it's basically very RNG focused, like Crazed Titan, so you will be guaranteed to need lots of attempts on it before you get what you need, or a level where there are lots of attempts that you need to do, but there's like a long preamble before the difficult bit. Things like that really benefit from a speed up where it's a long and repetitive task. Maybe Crazed and Manic Bird? I'm not sure about that though. Maybe it needs a lot more focus than a speed up can afford, but I think it'd be useful to have that because that's a huge long level. Speed ups aren't insanely useful very often, I find. Also, if you're rushing to get something done before a time limit ends, I've used a few speed ups then. But other than that, not massively useful. So when you're rushing to get something done, and when something, just make sure it's a continue stage first. Then you'll be likely to force close on it. Right, so what we're saying there is that all of them are the filters that we wanted to look at. Right, also then, Can you use Magicka to lower his attack? I believe Magicka might have been in the strat. It's been quite a while, so I don't actually know. But I will look now, because I need to put that in a folder anyway. Oh, no, it's not, because it's a CPU strat. It is a CPU strat. Yeah. So, maybe, but I think the thing with Magicka is that the wave will be strong enough to kind of kill everything anyway. Oh, and it gets that range. Well, there you go. How do you get a lot of XP at the beginner stages of the game? Well, farming treasure, you'll sort of get it by default, and the treasure will be farmed, so that's useful. Stories of Legend is fairly decent for XP, and then XP stages, which are always on at the weekend, or on sporadically throughout the week for an hour at a time. Do not use CPU. The reason that CPU is in there is because it's a level that's going to need a lot of attempts. This goes with the thing that I was saying about... Oh yeah, that's true as well. With the XP stages, the insane one isn't nearly as insane a difficulty as other insane stages, so you can get there fairly easily and then get loads of XP from that indeed, with an XP up. The reason CPU's on is similar to that of the speed up, because you'll need a lot of different force closing attempts to get the golden very little proc from crazed Titan attempt, because of course it's completely up to chance. And so putting the CPU on just eases the pain of having to do all of that yourself. So that's the reasoning for that. Right, let me get my beginner account ready. How's Silver Week faring? Zelbevocker. We might get him attempting. It's branded as the big user survey on beginner account there, which is an old thing, if I remember correctly. Anyway. Legend stages. When is it you can get Bomber, and is it a hard stage? The 22nd of each month at 2:22 PM for 1 minute. And no, it's very easy. The difficulty in it is being there at exactly the right time. It's literally an easy difficulty stage. I'm not saying easy from a relative point of view. Right. Now let's just bring up the strat. Beginner account. That one. Oh, hang on. Yes, good. It's in slot 5. It's here. So that means what I will do is swap out Paris for Mother Cat, because we know we love it, just to make it no gacha. Because actually, if you're waiting for a great proc run, having Paris isn't going to make that much of a difference. So that's alright. That's going to sit there nice and ready for every eventuality, as they say. Crikey, how many items I've got? Oh, not many. We're struggling for items. Which means it would actually be useful on the beginner account to maybe do some Friday stage, seeming as it's Friday. That would definitely be useful. What I am going to briefly do... Reggie, in your opinion, is Cat Clan Heroes good? Well, the reason I left that question was not because I was an awful person ignoring it. Although, you know, no, I don't. Anyway, the reason I left the question is because I don't have it and I can't give an opinion on it. I have no idea. But other people's opinion seems to be no. Right. If you feel I've been ignoring you, don't ask your question now because I'm going for a tea break. But keep asking your question, not in a spammy way, just every now and then. And, you know, if I want to systematically ignore a question, I'll probably say why I don't want to answer it. If I'm not answering it, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I haven't seen what you have to say. So, I'm going to put tea break on, literally make myself a cup of tea. The word literally is overused and I am part of the problem. And I'm going to turn my microphone off and get myself all the way over to my kettle. And I'll be back soon. Flip. Rightio, okay. Off with the tea break. So it looks like we're just in time for another attempt at a distant road, and then we'll switch over to the Begona Accord. And it will be good fun. Right. I can't beat Catburger Awakens Help Place. I'm afraid I don't know nearly well enough to give specific advice. I'd suggest looking up tutorials online. There should be plenty if the first one you look at doesn't work. Look for a tutorial by like Lucas or Woofer or people like that. They'll generally be accessible, and wow, that was a good one. That was definitely a good one. That was a fast one. Did we get the Monaco out quickly? I don't know, but I feel like that was quite a quick one. Right. Okay. Oh, that's probably far too early to be trying it then. Right, okay. Turn that off then. Hopefully OBS won't crash. It hasn't been recently after I updated it, so yeah, good start. We like. Yes, we do. Put you down there. Right. Okay, just check that this is all sorted. And won't be causing us any form of trouble, because we don't like trouble. Do we? No. There you go. That was confirmation if ever you needed it. Right, put you down on there, because you've got a silly sticky out camera, because Apple thought that was a good idea. In you go. And if we go on to the beginner account, hurrah, here it is. Okay. So, change the stream title, I guess, to clearage, right. Okay, that'll do. Right, how do you record? On OBS, from which I'm streaming now. Now, I must forewarn you, OBS is extremely unuser-friendly. Quite sadly so, because it's free and very powerful if you know how to use it. But it makes no effort to help you to know how to use it. And it took me a long time to work out even what's been worked out so far. But if you're technically minded, it'll be brilliant for you. Crazed c.titan. Right. No, hang on. The reason I went out of it was because I wanted to do Friday stage. There we go. Right. Let's do this a little bit then, just to stock up on CPUs a little bit more. Don't know how to record a mobile screen. Right. It is difficult. For a while I couldn't get it to work. What is it you do? I think, well, firstly you connect the device into the computer via USB, and then you add a video capture device, I think, and then hopefully it will come up. I cannot express an opinion on Detective Vigler. No idea. Don't have it. I mean, if it helped you, that surely is definition of good enough. You don't need outside validation if it's worked well for you. Mining corpse. I love that because put one letter on the end of it and it seems like they're just basically skeletons in a digger. Mother cat and macho leg combined is quite funny. Apologies if you heard me slut. Right, 2 cat CPUs will do. Let's go to the crazed Titan. Right, okay. This'll do fine, I should think. Or I could record it as a separate file. That would probably make some form of good sense. What I might do then... No, that would make no sense at all because it'd still hear the music. Okay. Is start a recording. Hopefully it didn't blow up the computer. And then that can be on there as well. How much time do you have left? I mean, maximum 3/4 of an hour. Realistically, we'd like to be done before that, but we'll have to see. So... Speed up is useful for this, as is Sniper the Cat, which is not that one. As a Sniper the Cat has a CPU. I should really just have that up. And you just have to see how well you do, I guess. You can restart if you want. Depends how invested you are in the current game you've been playing. Only you can really make that decision. Well, only you should, anyway. Right. I mean, I guess the advantage from my end would be if you restarted, you could follow the beginner's guide along. So I guess there's that. I guess from my point of view, I'd encourage it. It's absolutely up to you. Right. Crazy cats then. Okay, yes, good. Sensible. There's the strat. Should suggest those as alternatives. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that in there because then people can't complain about not having Samba. Yeah. Do that. Yeah, that'll do. So that's the strat. That's no gacha. That's all good. Okay. Should probably just check this. What happens at the start of the level? It's been that long. Okay, gories and that. So we turn the CPU off. Right. Let's go for it then. Apologies for the slurp again. I was just trying to get a quick drink in before we get mashed up by anything. Plenty of them lot, isn't there? Right, okay. So then from that point on, you can put the CPU and speed up on and see how you do for a little bit, I guess. So, decent proc so far, in that there wasn't anything. Oh, there we go. Well, good shot from Bahama. And then you get doubled. Well, that's a good example for bad stuff happening. Tripled, in fact, actually. Probably note to people you can be more precise when doing it yourself, but you will very quickly lose the will to do it yourself. Bet he's going to wave just as Bahama arrives. Oh, there's the wave. Oh! It's a shame I missed that. So, is that the 50% knockback? It is, isn't it? It must be. And so that is the point at which you'd stop. And say, perhaps a decent run, but I might go again. Force close it up. And that is why you've got your CPU and speed up on, so that you can just keep going without losing all the time of the day and inclination to carry on. Right, and then once you've hit level 8 worker cat, go for it. Oh, this can be used as an example of a really rubbish run. Every single time this screen flips upside down, it's not facing any direction that would make it do that. It's just really irritating. Right. Computer really huffing and puffing. Blowing all the houses down. Right, level 8 worker cat. On it goes. If I have a wider zoom within reason, I can move the screen around less. Oof. Oh, I wonder what happened here. We're going to get through this? Well, that went kind of alright. Maybe if I had have that hand there, and then be easier to keep track on the chat at the same time. Though still quite difficult. Seems to be having its own chat at the moment, though, so resourceful, that's good. As we await okay. Failure, like there. Mother Cat's only really a placeholder for Paris. I don't know if it would necessarily do much better to put something like Put something like whale in, maybe. I don't know. Ooh, okay. That's a bit of an oof. That was an awful, awful run. Yeah, Kobe's appeared and Kobe's right. Oh, crikey, that one was particularly awful. Wow. Beginning to think maybe something like whale would have a positive impact. And then I could talk about the Moby Dick combo. No, but then it would spam that as well. Don't want to overcomplicate it. Don't I just say overcomplete? I don't know. Brute forcing this level is hell. Well, yeah, maybe. But that's why we got our CPU and our speed up on, to make it as painless as possible. So I don't have any of the input into the miserable spiral of RNG. Rip. Rip. I don't know, stacked Mother does seem to work decently well. Maybe not. Why are you doing Crazed Titan again? To get enough footage for it, for the beginner account. Why you no speak? Because I'm having to pay close attention to make sure that I'm not losing the level, because I'd like to get as many attempts in here shown as possible. And it's kind of really difficult to look up at the chat or speak about things at the same time. But something repetitive like this is probably best placed within a stream. Right, anyway, we're at max worker count, so. That's better. Oh, it was going so well. You shouldn't judge someone on their political affiliations, Huskers. Conservatism's actually a very broad church. You don't know what kind of Tory. And also, again, don't judge someone on their political affiliations. Oh, of course it would go for Bahamut. Well, we're still alive. Oh, we're definitely not now. My bad. I feel like I've told you this quite a few times, and this, I'm afraid, will be the final time that I tell you before I do start ignoring you. If you want to ask something, just ask it. I'm not standing on ceremony to approve a question being asked. Just ask it. Please no cat CPU. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not spending my life doing all these strats myself to rely on RNG each and every time. But you are completely right, the cat CPU does make the strat less efficient and less good. But I know which I'd rather choose. The chance of eventual success with minimal effort put in, or putting in loads of effort and the chance of never succeeding. Hang on, what's these things up here? What I know do you really want to watch? I guess whatever just comes up in Battle Cat's collab sphere. For the avoidance of doubt, I'm not trying to beat this, per se. I have beaten it. We are getting footage for it, and for a very specific audience, the beginner audience, so we can't be using Ubers and the like. Crazed Whale's actually great, though. I think it survives the hit. Well, that's fantastic. Oh, rip. No. No, I did not. Quit too early. Although actually, it's really far behind the stream, which I thought was supposed to be an ultra low latency, which makes me wonder that it's like definitely not. But there we go. Again, for the avoidance of doubt for everyone, the CPU is not the best way of doing this level. But for someone to be able to eventually do it, the CPU having that on all the time does definitely help towards keeping one's sanity when doing the stage. And it takes away the need for strategic input, which, for beginners, is useful. Because that creates less of a gap to, oh, I couldn't do that, how could you do that? Well, it's just the CPU doing it for everyone. We're getting good proc there. I counted 10, but he hadn't waved yet. This will be... Oh, there we go. That's the one. That will be an example to use of a good run. Don't jinx it. Indeed. I think Bahamut missed. Right, we're going to let him kill us here, because I reckon we got decently well with the HP. Oh! Not 50% knockback then, it can't be, surely. Never quit too early, yeah, but we need to remember that this is the beginner audience. Oh, okay, I misinterpreted that hugely. Which means I probably need to reevaluate how I look at the knockbacks. That's higher than I thought it would be, truth be told. That is an interesting one. 5 knockbacks. Okay. So that... Okay. Right, well that makes it different then. Then I guess we should say something like you need to wait until you see 3 of those damage knockbacks before it's probably alright to let yourself die and then continue. Well, I'll tell you what then. Let's investigate trying it, not with that, but with that. And see if that has a more positive impact on how we do. Gonna rip through my items again. Big rip to them. Might just try and train my CPUs back up. Or do a bit of silver week on here, actually. Well, CPUs today, maybe. Okay. Right. You already did it and got footage. What else do you want? That sounds quite passive-aggressive. No need for that. The reason for it is because we need footage for very specific events and scenarios. And I need all of them to play out, or as many of them as I can to play out. And one we still need to play out is getting 3 damage knockbacks, it seems. And the more footage, the merrier. If you're bored, I'd recommend doing something you prefer doing with your time. If not, I'd recommend sitting back and watching. This might do it better for monies, but I wonder about whether it will do it better for damage. Oof. No, I mean, I think there still remains a benefit in the range of ideally Paris or Mother, if not. But obviously we'll continue trying with this until we get a good run, and we'll see what comes out of that. We've done well in the tight spot. But probably no more. Okay. Oh, that's a good idea, Huskers. I like that. Ability that prevents zombies burrowing below a unit. Like a sort of zombie shield. It's a nice idea. I like that. That's a cracker. Right. Do do do. 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 Oh, whoops. Right. You should make an episode about gacha. I have. I most definitely have. So there you go. Wish granted, I guess. Oh, rip. I look down, everything's been decimated. What are you doing, CPU? What are you doing? Oh, okay. Maybe not. Okay. You're going to draw and near best of the best. That's the plan. That is the plan. I'm actually surprised how unimpressive Whale is. Thought I'd done a bit of a sort of strat oversight there, really, but no. It does definitely seem like even Mother Cat works better. Because, I mean, if it isn't proccing, you can get an absolutely ginormous stack of them up. And that really helps. Right. Come on then. Oh dear, rip. Rip! That's a bad one. Okay, I think a couple more goes and then we'll call it a day. Pro tip, don't quit too early. Well, that's exactly the point. Pro tip. I mean, the wording is probably arbitrary, but what you've said has fallen into my point perfectly. Pro tip. This is a guide for beginners who don't need to be waiting until their base HP is at 1 before they press to force close. We need a security buffer, otherwise they're going to get very annoyed that they can't do it. And a buffer such as when stuff starts hitting the base, unless you've had an extremely good run, is a good buffer. Oh, didn't put the screen back on. There we go. I mean, I'd certainly appreciate the buffer myself. Yeah, okay, that's not going to have time to hit. Right. Okay, there's no need to be doing that. Please do something better with your time than spamming. Thank you. Right. So I think that says that quite conclusively. That what we were doing without the whale worked better. You found the link! Oh, yes, Huskers, explain! My original thought was like Wizard of Oz, but I thought, surely that doesn't work. I would use Crazed Dragon to the suggestion, but I don't have it. That will be a guide that I think Lucas suggested needs the use of Crazed Titan. The 14th day of the month of Liar. I'm already confused. The second Passover. Sat here, nail-biting moment, eagerly awaiting Husker's explanation. Ah, interesting. A sort of Jewish link then. Well, there we go. I can safely say I never would have got that one. Second chance. Well, there we go. Maybe that's what it is. Thank you, Huskers, for our fact o' the day. And that is possibly why A Distant Road has got anything to do with Silver Week. I've already forgotten what the actual name A Distant Road has got to do with it, though. What, like a road to that temple or something then? Anyway, stream was nice, thank you. Glad you think so. It was chill and cool. Yeah, crinkle's what helps with that sort of vibe, as the kids say. Right, so I think I will make that guide with the use of the other footage where we actually won and got it down to a good boss HP. But I think that strat as it is works. Hopefully people will have Paris to use. Because mathematically it will be possible to get a run with no procs at all in it, and then you'd be laughing. Can I apologise for being rude, or am I forgiven? Both. I appreciate the apology. I mean, I wouldn't call you rude. I just sometimes call you very sort of persistent in not such a great way. I wouldn't call that rude, but thank you. Anyway. And both. Always forgiven. So, that's been alright. I think actually, to be fair, it's perfectly enough to make a tutorial out of and explain to people, yeah, you're gonna have to rely on getting a lucky run. And so, on that note, that's it. Okay, good. Right, ta-ra to you all, and see you later, or something vaguely like that.